want to talk a little bit about courage and equipment. Very strange combination. I discovered something about photographing. When you're behind the lens of your camera, all of a sudden you have an awful lot of courage. It's almost like you're watching television or something. It's like you're protected because you're looking through this camera lens. That's part of it, and part of it, so you're so excited about this picture, hopefully it's great, that you get so carried away that you just feel like, you're untouchable. Now this can work to your advantage, because I sometimes get a little bit anxious in crowds. I remember having to go to Carnival for Bolivia, and it's like, there's so many people. It's just crazy. And a little bit, if you start thinking about fire hazards or, what would happen if the whole crowd bolted, and you start kind of get anxious about the idea of that. And, it could be a dangerous situation. But behind that lens, I'll tell you, you look at the pictures and you're getting excited about all the action and the animated people, the interaction and the dance moves of the band, that you don't worry about the crowd at all. You don't even think about it. You just want to get that angle, even if you're, I'm an introvert and I'm in there in the middle of the parade, taking pictures, going low down, going high up, going back and forth, and I don't care. That is the joy of creativity and the joy of, hiding behind your lens, I guess. Well, sometimes it's helpful. Like in the case when my Bolivian brother asked me if I would take a picture of him and his prize bull. Now, when I thought of that, what came to mind were passport pictures. And I just imagined, oh my goodness, how boring of a picture is this going to be? Me and my bull. And then I realized, I'm going to have to process it, print it, and enlarge it to 8x10 to give it to him on my next visit. I just couldn't stomach it. So I decided, well, I'm going to have to make sure it's a good picture to make it worth my while. So I did actually try to discourage him. You don't want that picture. That's boring. But he was going to sell it, I believe. So he wanted, a souvenir of this great animal that he raised. Finally, I gave in. I mean, how could I say no, really? My great brother, who's helped me so much and been so lovely, always there for me. I've known him since he was 8. Anyways, I get out my 20 millimeter. I bought this lens because the 28 wasn't quite wide enough. Got this 20. It's just exceptional in small, cramped spaces. Well, we had a lot of space. But it occurred to me, I could use that lens and really create some kind of dynamic imagery. So he's got the bull. He knows also that I'm wary of bulls and cows. We don't get on all that much, that well. I like the sheep. They're smaller and easy to handle, and if they step on you, it doesn't hurt. So he's aware, but I get my 20 millimeter lens, and all of a sudden, courage, get behind my lens, and I feel like I'm really far away. Meanwhile, my brother's laughing because the bull is getting really close and he has to yank on the lead so the bull doesn't knock me over. Anyway, photograph was exceptional. We have these huge billowing clouds and my brother in his poncho and this stoic great bull. It was wonderful. And, between the creativity and that 20 millimeter lens, I had all the courage I needed. Well, later on, I ended up working for an NGO. And I was photographing different projects. Now that's in the category of passport pictures for me. You hope to get something interesting, but you don't always. And on this occasion, I was going with the engineer, boss, driver, to photograph beekeeping. And I was a bit concerned about being stung. And I said, well, do I get a special suit? It's like, yeah, no, you don't get a special suit. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Just don't wave your arms about. Don't harass the bees and you'll be fine. Just be calm and just shoot. It'll be okay. So there I am. I'm photographing. The lighting's pretty bad. It's flat. And the background's not that great. I'm shooting in black and white. So, I think it was in Cochabamba. It was, there's some greenery and whatnot. But, you know, it's just gonna be tones of gray and black and white. And I wanted to do a good job. I'm doing this for a charity, so, you know, let's try our best. So I tried the different lenses, and finally I thought, hey, the 20. The 20 is my miracle secret ingredient. Let's put that on. So I put that on, and I'm getting closer and closer and closer. Courage, right? And the bees, they start going like up my sleeve and buzzing all around, and just, you know, it's just like a reflex. I'm just like going like this, and it obviously gets worse. And they chase me, and I keep going until like I'm not being followed anymore by this bunch of bees. And I'm like all in a flap, and I still hear the buzzing like a nightmare. Take off my baseball cap, there's a bee trapped in my hair. So I released him, and it was okay. But I realized at that moment that, okay, it's fine to have courage. 20 millimeter is awesome, but you know, there is such a thing as the right equipment for the right occasion. So do keep that in mind when you're using your 20 millimeter or any piece of equipment, and have a great time and adventure, and hopefully you won't get stung as many times as I did. Until next time.